So the introduction is, it is a transcribed lecture by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada from 1969. So Srila Prabhupada, he introduced the Vedas to us, and he gave us the very essence. Otherwise, to have the Vedas as, a whole teaching, then you will have to read a lot of different books. We get to look at that later. What actually, is the what actually constitutes Vedic knowledge when you talk about all the different branches. But for now, let's just be sure that Īśopaniṣad, that is, and Upanishad, and that's one of the 4 parts of a Veda. You have Upanishads, Aranyakas, Brahmanas, and Samhitas. These are the 4 parts of any of the 4 Vedic scriptures, which are Rig Veda, Sama, and Atharva. Rig, Yajur, Atharva, and Sama Veda. So for each of these 4 Vedas, you will have something called a Samhita, and then a Brahmana. Brahmana is in this context, it means a specific kind of scriptures. And then Aranyakas. So Brahmanas and Aranyakas are a little bit similar. Therefore, they're announced people. Actually, most of the Vedas are dealing with fire sacrifice to elevate oneself to higher stage. And a lot of it is also for people who wants to be, living in the renounced classes. That is brahmachari, vanaprastha, and sannyas. So then the Upanishads is the last one, and that is meant especially for renounced people. So Īśopaniṣad, as you can hear in the name, it is an Upanishad. So what is the meaning? So usually we can go back to the first page. It says Śrī Īśopaniṣad. It's a very beautiful picture here of Vishnu, and there is a Sheshanaga expansion of Vishnu on the back. This form of Vishnu with 4 arms is resting on the Sheshanaga, and he's using it. So Naga means the snake. So it is actually an incarnation of Baladev, Balaram. The brother of Krishna is following and expanding himself as the bed of the Lord. So he's resting on this bed, and then in his Yoga Nidra dream he's producing the material universes. So this is the Isha we're talking about. And Shri, it indicates its auspiciousness, because it also means the goddess of fortune. And then Isha, because of Sunday, this A in the end becomes an O, because it's blended. The A is blended with the U for Upanishad, yeah? So it becomes an O. So Isha, Upanishad. If you unpack that word, it's 2 words blended together. So Isha means the supreme controller, as in the picture here we see Vishnu. That is the one which is referred to. And then Upanishad. So how is Upanishad constructed? Upa means near, Ni means certainly, and Shad. Yeah, it means you can say high attainment. Yeah, like Upanishad is giving you the highest attainment, and at the same time also Shad also means to get rid of something or destroy something. So it also means we are destroying our material attachments by sitting near to the master. Yeah, so Upanishad means a disciple is sitting near to his master and getting the instructions by which one will attain the highest goal and also destroy, whatever is in the way of that goal. Destroy in a very nice sense. That all the anarthas, all the unwanted things are destroyed. Does it make sense? Yeah. Let's go on and read Īśopaniṣad, Śrī Īśopaniṣad, the most auspicious book by which we're learning how to get rid of our material attachments, attain the highest goal, which is the Supreme Isha, Lord Vishnu or Lord Krishna. So it's said that Upanishads, they are explaining Vedas in the nutshell, in the highest sense. And then you have the fifth Veda, which is sometimes not mentioned, but there is a fifth Veda, and that is the Puranas. And also the Itihasa, which are Mahabharata and Ramayana. So they are explaining even more by having stories, practical stories, how to practice the spiritual life. In that way, we who are conditioned by the material nature, we can learn by seeing the examples of others. Okay, so let's read. Ladies and gentlemen, today's subject matter is the teachings of the Vedas. What are the Vedas? The Sanskrit verbal root of Veda can be interpreted variously, but the purpose is finally one. Veda means knowledge. Any knowledge you accept is Veda, for the teachings of the Vedas are the original knowledge. In the conditioned state, our knowledge is subjected to so many deficiencies. The difference between a conditioned soul and a liberated soul is that the conditioned soul has 4 kinds of defects. So here there is an acronym we can use. MICI. M-E-C-E. So we'll take that up after we have read what Prabhupada is saying. The first defect is that he must commit mistakes. For example, in our country, Mahatma Gandhi was considered to be a very great personality, but he committed many mistakes. Even at the last stage of his life, his assistant warned, Mahatma Gandhi, don't go to the New Delhi meeting. What happened at the New Delhi meeting? He was assassinated. Yeah. Mahatma Gandhi, don't go to the New Delhi meeting. I have some friends and I have heard there is danger. But he did not hear. He persisted on going and was killed. Even great personalities like Mahatma Gandhi, President Kennedy, there are so many of them, make mistakes. To err is human. This is one defect of the conditioned soul. So that makes up the M in our acronym MICI. And after that, we have illusion. That's the E. Another defect, to be illusioned. Illusion means to accept something which is not. Maya. Maya means what is not. Everyone is accepting the body as the self. If I ask you what you are, you will say, I am Mr. John. I am a rich man. I am this, I am that. All these are bodily identifications, but you are not this body, this is illusion. The third defect is the cheating propensity. So that's the C. So we cover now M, mistakes, E, illusion, and now C for cheating. Everyone has the propensity to cheat others. Although a person is fool number 1, he poses himself as very intelligent. Although it is already pointed out that he is an illusion and makes mistakes, he will theorize, I think this is this, this is this. But he does not even know his own position. He writes books of philosophy, although he is defective. That is his disease, that is cheating. Lastly, our senses are imperfect. So that's the E. So then you have M, mistakes, E, illusion, C for cheating, and E for imperfect senses. Mickey. Yeah. We are very proud of our eyes. Often someone will challenge, can you show me God? But do you have the eyes to see God? You will never see if you haven't the eyes. If immediately the room becomes dark, you cannot even see your hands. So what power do you have to see? We cannot therefore expect knowledge, Vedas, with these imperfect senses. With all these deficiencies in conditioned life, we cannot give perfect knowledge to anyone, nor are we ourselves perfect. Therefore we accept the Vedas as they are. Yeah, let's see if it's possible maybe even to write here on this. Let's see. No, if I do like this, can I write here? Yeah, I could actually write. It was very small though. See if I can make it bigger.
That I would remember forever. What was my name when I was a teenager?
Oh, really? Miki? Yeah, Mikaela, of course. So you will easily remember this one. Yeah. Great. Okay, so I highlighted it here on the YouTube. Let's see if I can write it here also. Yeah, I can write it. Yeah, you see that one? Miki, yeah. Mistakes, illusion, cheating, and imperfect senses. Yeah. Okay, so then let's go on. You may call the Vedas Hindu, but Hindu is a foreign name. We are not Hindus. So if you ever thought you were a Hindu, you may want to reconsider that. But you know, sometimes we are calling ourselves Hindu also. It's dependent on the circumstances, really. To make life easy, we can always call ourselves Hindu. Prabhupada also sometimes said that we are Hindus. But in another sense, the word Hindu is a very generalized term, right? It's very, very general. It covers any kind of religion you can find in India, basically, who is from, that area. Prabhupada says Hindu is a foreign name because it was given by the Muslims just to label the people of India. They were on the other side of the river Sindhu. So Sindhu, after some time, it became Hindu. Apparently because the Muslims, they cannot pronounce S in the same way as in India. So it becomes like Hindu instead of Sindhu. So it's a geographical term, and it describes the religion of all the people there. So then you have, you have the people who are Vaishnavas. That's one kind of Hindu. Then you have the followers of Shiva, Shaivites. Then you have the mother goddess worshippers, Shaktas. So that's the three main classes of Hindus. And then you have Smarta Brahmanas, and also sometimes also you can mention the Sikhs, although technically many say they're actually not Hindu. They have their own, but that you can say about Buddhists also. But they're also very in India. So in many ways, you have so many different groups. So if you will say we are Hindus, then we can clarify and say we are Vaishnava Hindus. Yeah. So in that sense, we are not Hindus because we are Vaishnavas, and Hindu can mean all this general. It's a very general term. So in that way, we are Vaishnavas, not Hindus. Yeah. But then you can say it's a branch of Vaishnava. Branch of Hinduism is Vaishnava. So Prabhupada says, our real identification is Varnashram. Varnashram denotes the followers of the Vedas, those who accept the human society in 8 divisions of Varna and Ashrama. There are 4 divisions of society and 4 divisions of spiritual life. This is called Varnashram. It is stated in the Bhagavad Gita, these divisions are everywhere because they are created by God. The divisions of society are Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. Brahmana refers to the very intelligent class of men, those who know what is Brahman. Similarly, the Kshatriyas, the administrator group, are the next intelligent class of men. Then the Vaishyas, the mercantile group. These natural classifications are found everywhere. This is the Vedic principle, and we accept it. Vedic principles are accepted as an axiomatic truth, for there cannot be any mistake. That is acceptance. For instance, in India, cow dung is accepted as pure, and yet cow dung is the stool of an animal. In one place you'll find a Vedic injunction that if you touch stool, you will have to take you touch stool, you will have I cannot turn the page now. Okay. If you touch stool, I have to get rid of this one. Let's see. I can't get rid of it. Oh, here, I just clear it. There it is. So that, if you touch stool, you have to take a bath immediately. But in another place it is said that the stool of a cow is pure. If you smear cow dung in an impure place, that place becomes pure. With our ordinary sense, we can argue this is contradictory. Actually, it is contradictory from the ordinary point of view, but it is not false. It is fact. In Calcutta, a very prominent scientist and doctor analyzed cow dung and found that it contains all antiseptic properties. Even I heard it's also scientifically explained that Ganga also is actually having also antiseptic properties. That also probably is mentioned in another place. Because bathing in the Ganga water, you became pure. Even though it may be dirty from the outside, but it actually purifies. In the same way, cow dung is very pure. It's even used as medicine in Ayurveda. In India, if one person tells another, you must do this, the other party may say, what do you mean? Is this a Vedic injunction that I have to follow you without any argument? So actually these Vedic injunctions, they are there. And thank you for saying Hare Krishna on the chat in YouTube. Hare Krishna. The Vedic injunctions, they are just law books. They're telling the law that we are to follow. In the Vedic language, now I found out how to write here, so I can just write again. It's called these Vedic laws are called Rita. Or actually this is like in Vedic you write R like in Krishna, Rita. But anyway, just like you write Krishna with E, but in the Sanskrit the E will just be baked into the R. So Rita means law. And then let's see. And then you have Rina. That means depth. So you have to follow the law, otherwise you're getting in depth. So there was a high sense of understanding law. There was a high sense that the universe will give us reaction. The universe. Universe is giving, and universe is taking. Universe is punishing. Universe is rewarding. So that's why we need to follow Vedic injunctions. So probably, those of us who have taken to, this process of spiritual life, we are starting to recognize that, indeed, it's not only, that we have to follow, the material laws in our, society. We not only have to follow that, we also start to care about following the laws of the universe. So, for example, that is why we become vegetarian. We don't eat meat because we know that is giving, it's called vikarma, bad karma. Okay, so what does Prabhupada say further on? Vedic injunctions cannot be interpreted, but ultimately, if you carefully study why these Vedic injunctions are there, you will find that they are correct. Yeah. The Vedas are not compilations of human knowledge. Vedic knowledge comes from the spiritual world, from Lord Krishna. Another name for the Vedas is Shruti. Shruti refers to that knowledge which is acquired by hearing. It is not experimental knowledge. Shruti is considered to be like a mother. It takes so much knowledge from our mother. For example, if you want to know who your father is, who can answer you? Your mother. If the mother says, "Here is your father," you have to accept it. It is not possible to experiment to find out whether he is your father. Similarly, if you want to know something beyond your experience, beyond your experimental knowledge, beyond the activities of the senses, then you have to accept the Vedas. There is no question of experimenting. It has already been experimented, is already settled. The version of the mother, for instance, has to be accepted as truth. There is no other way. So there is another word for mother then. I mean, Vedically, you can say, I'll just write up what we learn here. So we have Vedas, and then Vedas you can divide into Shruti, and then Smriti. Yeah. Shruti and Smriti, two different types of Vedas. And then you have, another name for the Veda you can say is Veda Mata, mother. Yeah. So Veda is like a mother. Why? Because just as a mother, she can tell who is our father. And who is the father? It is Isha. Supreme Personality of God, the Supreme Controller. And hence we have this book, Īśopaniṣad. Yeah, we will learn more about Isha through this book, how we should relate to the Isha, to our father. Yeah, I can just write that also so you have it clear here. Isha, that is father. Yeah. Okay, I just put it here. Yeah. Okay, let's read on. Yeah. For example, if you want to know who your father is, who can answer you? Your mother. If the mother says, "Here is your father." Yeah, so there is no other way. So the Vedas, so the paragraph under there, the Vedas are considered to be the mother, and Brahma is called the grandfather, the forefather, because he was the first to be instructed in the Vedic knowledge. Yeah, so that's another way of seeing it. In the beginning, the first living creature was Brahma. He received this Vedic knowledge and imparted it to Narada and other disciples and sons, and they also distributed it to their disciples. In this way, the Vedic knowledge comes down by disciplic succession. What is called disciplic succession? Parampara. Yeah, we can write that also here. Parampara. Yeah, disciplic succession. That's not just important, that's extremely important. That it means, what is parampara meaning? You have two things in the parampara, yeah? Guru and what's the next thing? Disciple, excellent. Yeah, it's good you said disciples, because it's plural. Actually, you can write that with guru also, it's gurus. Yeah. In that way, we can have a parampara. Otherwise, there is no parampara. So this idea that you have, there was a guru back in the day, but now nobody qualified to be guru. Well, that is not Vedic. Vedic is you always have guru. In plural, you have gurus everywhere, all the time. You always need teachers and you always need disciples. And what does the disciple become when they learned? They become teachers, right? Then they yes?
Yes.
Yes, exactly. So then, I'm just putting this now the other way on our YouTube here. Like, then you have disciples and they become gurus. Yeah. Just that you understand that, disciples and gurus is the same thing, basically. An actual disciple becomes able to teach to others. So then always you have, the same issue is always there. So, I'm not, I'm just a disciple. Yeah, but that's the correct way to see it. Because guru is something big and disciple is something small. So the disciple will say, I'm not qualified to be, the guru. But sometimes we have to be, because there may not be, there may not be so many others who can teach. Sometimes we are supposed to teach ourselves. And then we are becoming, one can become two guru. Actually, the main guru is Shiksha. Yeah, Shiksha guru is the main guru. Yeah, that we can put under here. Let's see. Right, it's small Shiksha, and then slash Diksha. Yeah. So all of us, we can become Shiksha Guru. Actually, we already are immediately when you're teaching somebody else anything Vedic, then you are taking the role of Shiksha Guru. So that's the usual. Diksha Guru is specifically trained up Brahmana. Yeah, you cannot be a Diksha Guru without being a Brahmana. Is that clear? I can write that, so that's why I can write Diksha on the other side, because we write Diksha here. Oh, can I fit this? Yeah, because Diksha is really for creating Brahmanas. Yeah, it's not for creating, you can say, ordinary person. No, Diksha is becoming serious, because you get mantras from the guru by which you can do worship of the Lord in the deity form. It is it is a serious business. Shiksha is also serious. Actually, they're just as serious, but Diksha is requiring more formalities. Yeah. And the Diksha Guru is also giving Shiksha instructions. But the Diksha, then you have a lot of protocol. There's, the giving of the spiritual name. There's the fire sacrifice, sacred thread, many things. Shiksha is just more informal, can be. Just repeating what you yourself have heard. Yeah. Is it clear?
Yes.
Yeah, very good. Okay, let's read on. Let's see where I was. Let's see. Yeah. So, okay, if you want to know who your father is and you accept your mother as authority, then whatever she says can be accepted without argument. So in that way, the mother is Shiksha, yeah? She's Shiksha Guru. There's nowhere, in the Vedas it says, that the mother cannot be Guru, because that's another name of the Vedas. Veda Mata, Veda is the mother, right? She is the Guru. And it's actually said we have two Gurus, it's the mother and the father. They both are Gurus. Okay, so there are three kinds of evidence: Pratyaksha, Anumana, and Shabda. So this is called the Pramana, Vedic Pramana. I'll write that up. See if I have enough space to write all these things. I'll try. Here we have a little space here. Pramana or Pramanas. So they are Pratyaksha, Anumana, and Shabda. Yeah. Pratyaksha means direct. Direct evidence is not so good because our senses are not perfect. Do you remember that, Miki? The last one was E for imperfect senses. However, a lot of what we do, every day and all the time is because of pratyaksha, sensual. Pratyaksha can also mean, directly seen, because aksha also means eyes. So we're seeing directly with our eyes, and then we believe whatever we see. But isn't it that many things we see are illusion, especially today with our screens? We are getting served, so many pratyakshas on the screen. But sometimes, it has been manipulated. It's not actually true what we see on the screen. Is it correct or not? Yes. So in that way, a pratyaksha is not so reliable, actually. Just, our sensual, knowledge. Prabhupada said we are seeing the sun daily, and yes?
How will we translate these pramanas? It's like evidence?
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, I'll write that also. Exactly the translation. Evidence. Yeah. Yes, sorry for covering over a little bit of the book here. Yeah. I can even, no, I'll leave it as it is. Okay, so direct evidence is not so good. So, okay, we are seeing the sun daily, and it appears to us just like a small disk. But it is actually far, far larger than many planets. Of what value is this seeing? Therefore, we have to read books. Then we can understand about the sun. So, of course, what do we learn about the sun when we read about the sun from the Vedas? Well, we learn that the sun is an expansion of of Isha. It's an expansion of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Yeah. It says in the Brahma Samhita also that the sun is revolving in its path, is going in a round, path by the order of the Supreme Lord. Sambrita Kala Chakram. It's also called the Kala Chakra, the circular path that the sun is taking. And it's called Kala Chakra. It means the circle of time, because the time is ticking because of the sun's travel. Yeah. So these things we are learning from Vedas. So direct experience is not perfect. Then there is inductive knowledge. It may be like this. Hypothesis. For instance, Darwin's theory says that it may be like this, it may be like that, but that is not science. That is a suggestion, and it is also not perfect. Okay, so that is, now we're talking about Anumana. Anumana means theory, theoretical knowledge. However, this is used a lot in the world. And it's working very nicely usually for all our material needs. For example, you can say you have, people are constructing a bridge. If it's a very weak bridge just made of, wood, then if you have, a huge car loaded with stone, you can understand the weight of the car. Mathematically, you can understand the weight of the car and how much pressure can the bridge take. And you can understand it's a bad idea for this car to cross the bridge, because the car is too heavy and it will just go down, it will just break the bridge. It will be a catastrophe. So that's why, one will not go over the bridge with such a car. One may walk over the bridge, but not drive over the bridge with, a heavy car. So that is Anuman. You understand? It's logic.
Yes.
Yeah. Logic is another word for that. I may even write that here. Let's see. Logic. Yeah. So let's do this slowly and nicely so we get everything right. The first one. Let's see. First one, the pratyaksha, it means
Direct evidence?
Yeah. Or sensual, we can say. It's actually, we can use different words. Sensual and then logic. Yeah, so pratyaksha is through our senses. Yeah. Yeah, you can say directly. Yeah. Let's say, if I move this here. Direct. Yeah. Direct sense. Yeah. Yeah. So pratyaksha is direct sense, and then anumana is logic. Okay, so what then is shabda? Prabhupada says then, if you receive the knowledge from the authoritative sources, then that is perfect. So that's authority. So that means, not really what you experience actually. It's just a law. So that means a notion that somebody is very powerful and they can just push a button and things will happen. So this means actually you accept, the higher powers. You accept, the gods and God. Yeah, not just God, but also all the other gods. The gods, are giving us, the karma or reactions. Higher powers. Yeah. So that's accepted in Shabda. So in one sense, No, actually, that's the best sense. Just law. Yeah. Yeah. Law, authority. Yeah. Yeah, so that's Shabda. So how is the law working? Well, you need to have a law book. So in any country you have in the whole world, you have a law book, right? There is no country which doesn't have a law. Law is very, is very central actually of any, society, isn't it?
It's crazy.
Very much. So in the same way, actually, but usually isn't it that, the law of a society, it is like, people think they may get away, some or other, if nobody sees, if nobody hears, if it's not recorded, what you do, then we may think, I can escape this law, right?
Yes.
But now, wait for this, that anything we do, it is recorded by the universal constables, yeah? And who are they? It's explained there are 12. Sun god, moon god, wind god, water god, space god. Yeah, the 5 elements: earth, water, fire, air, and space. So these gods are catching everything we do. And then you have Lord Brahma is there, Paramatma is there, Yamaraj. Actually, everybody is reporting to Yamaraj, which is the Lord of Dharma. And then it says the night and the day. They're also recording whatever we do. These are all gods. So when we talk about Shabda, are we talking just about the rules or laws for ordinary society from the mundane sphere? No, we're talking about the universal authority here, actually. More like that. But that is also written down. That's the amazing thing. It is written down, the universal laws. We are not in ignorance of the universal laws because they are given. And what is the medium by which we can learn about the universal laws? This is a very difficult question.
Can you repeat, please?
What is the medium by which we learn about Shabda or the universal laws? What is the medium from which we can get information about the universal laws?
Sadhu and Shastra.
Yes. Perfect. Usually we just say Shastra, we say, the scriptures, or Veda. Yeah. We're back to the original start of this whole discussion. It's Veda. So I can write that also here in the parenthesis. See.
The life looks like very simple.
It's very simple. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, it's very simple. So that's why I write it here now in parentheses. Under law authority, that is Vedas. So that's the place we're learning. And we relate to that. Yeah. And that's why it's the highest, because it all ends there. In a normal, sense. Say any court case, right? What has it happened? There was something happened because of sense. Somebody said something to somebody pushed somebody, any kind of, exchange between two living entities, between two jivas. It was an interaction based on the senses, right? And the one can say, he told me this, she said this, he said that. There is arguments back and forth connected to pratyaksha. And then somebody has to use some logic. But why the person said that was because you said this. But I replied like this because that person, was yelling. And that's why I, did this. So if one tries to use logic to try and explain why one did as one did in a court case, right? And then you have advocates on each case. There are, good reasons. There usually, there are reasons for both parties. But then, how does it all, going to be judged? You need to have a judge. And who is that judge? What is that judge in our system here? Now we have, the sense experience was used, the logic was used, but you need to have a judge. What is that judge called? You have a name for a judge? From our Vedic point of view, what would you call that judge? Guru, yes. Very good. The best answer. Yeah. So that's you see there's this, you start on the top, or with our first hand experience, that's pratyaksha. Next one is Anuman, we apply logic. To whatever we do, we use our senses, other people are using their senses, and we are thinking. So what is that logic happening? Where is it happening? It's our intelligence, yeah? So we can just explain it in a different way. Well, I don't have space to write, but you can say the direct sense experience, it's going on in our mind, yeah? We're thinking, but you need to apply the intelligence, you need to apply the logic. But then, in order to really understand, you need to have the Shastra, or the Guru. It ends up with the Guru to actually make the final judgment. So, in other words, do we need Guru to get things right?
Yes, we need.
We do. But then always people are taking up, the issue. Oh, but I heard this Guru was falling away. The scandal with this Guru. As kind of an excuse, that I should not have a Guru, right? But I just have one question to that. Just one question, okay? Did all the Gurus in the whole world, fall down? Or was it just...
Of course not.
Of course not, right? So this is a straw man argument. That, but this Guru, that... I don't have faith in the Guru anymore. Yeah, but if you don't have faith in Guru, why are you listening to anybody? Because Guru is everywhere. I just told you, Guru is not only the Diksha Guru. You have millions of Shiksha Gurus. So it's a lie. You have faith in Guru because you're hearing always, what people are saying. There are Gurus, wherever you turn your head, there is a Guru, right? We are listening to authority. In one sense, everybody who's authority is a Guru. But then they say, oh yeah, it's okay, I can listen to this. It's okay, but I'm not trusting the spiritual Gurus. Somebody will say, I don't trust the spiritual Gurus. Yeah? So then we say, okay, but why are you here? Why are you talking, with us? Why are we having this discussion? Because you're obviously in the spiritual life. So it's actually a question is coming back to us. We need to have faith. We should have faith, because otherwise, one will get nowhere. Try to go to, 99% of the Gurus, they don't fall. They didn't fall. Or they're okay, or at least 50% of them. It's just to say that all teachers in the world are bad just because a few teachers were bad. We need to have trust in the Vedic system. Yeah. So I'll write that also here. It's called Shraddha. Yeah. Trust. Yeah. Yeah. So if you just have that trust, then we may be guided by the Guru. And then we may learn to control our senses, apply logic properly by the authority of the Vedas. And then we will not be criminal. That's the point. So, usually this argument just goes back to ourselves, because why should we listen to Guru? It's because, we want to be law-abiding citizens. So we don't want to be criminal. So if you understand this logic to say that I don't trust any gurus, what it actually means is that I want to continue being a criminal. Does it make sense? Because you don't trust any gurus, that means you don't want to follow the laws. Because the laws are given by the guru. The guru is just telling what is there in the Vedas. Then you can say, but I'm just reading, the books by myself. Yeah, that's okay. So then your guru is the Vedas yourself. So light was shut on, because it means it's not actually okay to just read the Vedas by yourself. It is okay just temporarily, because will we actually understand the Vedas if we just read them ourselves and don't have a guru? Can we actually understand fully? And then you can say, yeah, we can, because we have Prabhupada. He's giving the the translation and the commentary. Yes, in that way, Prabhupada he's a guru. So you can learn Vedas by studying the books given by Srila Prabhupada. So in that way, it's actually okay. But then you need to be self-inspired also. If you're not going to have any other person to help, just Prabhupada in the books and nobody else, you have to be very strong as a person. I guess it's possible, but for most of us we may need to have a personal guide who is there. Does it make sense? Yeah. Actually, I'm just giving a benefit of the doubt that if you're a really strong person, if you're a Paramahamsa, it said you can be alone. Yeah, if you're a Paramahamsa, because you have direct connection with Super Soul in your heart, you can sit alone, you can do yoga alone, you can read the books alone, you can become perfect alone. Yeah. So I'm just telling to everybody who may be Paramahamsas that it's okay. You can you can just read the books and learn by yourself. You don't need a physical guru if you're a Paramahamsa. So you may know yourself where you are. So in that way, you can choose. But if you would happen to not be a Paramahamsa, then I will strongly suggest that you find a guru to take instruction. Yeah. At least for my case, I need to do that. Yeah. Okay, so let's just read on. Yeah. If you receive a program guide from the radio station authorities, this was back in the day when Prabhupada was writing this. He was saying this in 1969. Then radio was actually very big. Radio is not so big anymore. Yeah. Okay, so if you receive a program guide from the radio station authorities, you accept it. So what is a program guide? You will know, okay, this program will be, 6 o'clock, the next one 8 o'clock. You just accept it, right? You don't deny it. You don't have to make an experiment because it's received from the authoritative sources. This is very clear cut. Who am I, to say that? No, it's not like that. Well, we may discuss. We may have doubts, and we may discuss. So actually, that discussion is actually good, and that's how. Where do we do that discussion? I'll write that here also. That's called satsanga. Yeah. Or sadhu sangha. But because I don't have enough space to write, I'll just write satsanga. Yeah. So first we have trust, and then we have satsanga, and in that sangha we can have, the association. And then we may, strengthen our faith. Because as we said earlier, we said, very often we may not trust the guru. We think, guru, it's okay. We may think that the concept sounds very good, but today it's not really, happening so much, because most of the gurus, they are, not really, they don't really have, the high standard and like that. But if you have the satsanga, if you associate with the sadhus, with the devotees, then we can also get stronger in our faith. He said, we have this gradation of steps, 9 steps of our practice. Adau Shraddha, Tata Sadhu Sangha, At Abhajana Kriya. So it starts with just having trust, and then we are associating with the devotees, and then we do Bhajana Kriya, we practice ourselves. So for example, we may start becoming vegetarian, we start, giving up the drugs, having good association. We are doing, Anartha Nivritti, Bhajana Kriya, and then Anartha Nivritti. We get rid of our bad habits. And all of these levels of higher and higher is said to be also development of Shraddha, or trust in the Vedic authority. So the more we are practicing spiritual life, the more trust we actually get in the Shabda Pramanam. And in the end, the Shabda, or the spiritual authority, they will actually say, that we are not at all, matter, actually. We're not a product of this material world. Because Prabhupada is mentioning here Darwin's theory. So what did Darwin say? He said, we are matter. But actually Darwin, he was actually a Christian. He actually said, it's just a theory. He actually said that. But people took it very seriously. And at one point, even Darwin, he was actually seeing what was happening. He also was regretting a little bit. It's recorded that he was also, thinking that, what did I do to create, this theory? It became so popular, but it's undermining, the existence of God by saying, everything is just evolving. So anyway, that's the theory. You may have trust in the theory, but if you have that, then you have trust in Pratyaksha and Anumana. Does it make sense? Theory is one thing, law is another thing, right? I'll write that also. So you see here, logic. Logic is also theory. If I can write that instead of logic, then it makes more sense, no? Yeah, it's a theory. Yeah, so you have direct sense experience, and then you have a theory, because you don't know if it's 100% sure. A theory is it 100% sure? No, by the word itself, it means something uncertain. But it's a good idea. Yeah, good idea. We can make theories, and then we are doing things afterwards. But theory can never be 100% absolute. Okay, let's just say it's not absolute. It's dependent on the circumstances, yeah? Say, for example, can you give me a good example? Anyway, I'm sure you can, yes?
We have to see whether it is an authentic Shastra, what we are checking, what we are going through also, if it is authentic, if it is coming from Parampara,
yes.
Then we should look into it.
Yes, so that's why you have parampara. Thank you so much. I'll write that also here. On the guru side, it has to be parampara, actually. Yeah, so I wrote here guru, and under guru parampara. Yeah, because otherwise we can really also not be sure. So just regarding the books we are using, they are the most, preserved books in the parampara. And which are the books? Is Bhagavad Gita, and it is Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavatam. So, for example, when it comes to Puranas, Bhagavatam is the one who has most commentaries from the gurus. It has, as far as I understand, it has at least over 20 or 30 commentaries, or maybe up to 50. While the closest other Purana is maybe the Vishnu Purana. It has also something like 6, 8, or highest 10 commentaries. So the Bhagavad Purana is the most commented, because it is in the gradations of the Puranas, it is the highest. So what were the Puranas doing? It says Puranas are Puranata. They're making complete. They're completing. So they're completing the 4 Vedas. The 5th Purana is explaining the 4 Vedas practically and completing, the understanding. That's why Purana is very important, and especially the Bhagavad Purana. And that is given to us through the Guru Parampara. So in that sense, we can have the highest trust in that book explained by the Guru. And the Bhagavad Gita is the most, commented and, preserved part of the Mahabharata. It said that Mahabharata may have, some different editions, and there may be some stories which are not in the other editions. One may not, be able to trust whatever is said in the Mahabharata 100% because it has been maybe interpolated or changed during time. But the Bhagavad Gita has been very nicely preserved by so many commentaries on its own. It has been, delivered from Guru to disciple. So that's also the most trusted book in the Guru Parampara. So basically we're sticking to these 2 books. Bhagavad Gita as the ABC and Bhagavatam as the higher knowledge. Does it make sense?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah. Because otherwise you have the 4 Vedas. You have the Rig Veda, you have the Sama Veda, Yajurveda, Atharva Veda. They are quite cryptic in themselves. You need to get them explained. And how are they explained? They're explained by Puranas and Itihasa. And they also have the 4 parts. The Brahmanas, Aranyakas, Samhita, and Upanishads. Upanishads are the most easy to approach, you can say, from these 4 parts of Vedas. But still, it's helping to get them explained by the Puranas and the Mahabharata and Ramayana. With these stories, it's more easy to understand. That's why we need this 5th Veda to understand, actually. Okay, so this Shraddha or trust in the books are developing by Sadhu Sangha, Sat Sangha. Yeah, that's how we develop. We get more and more trust. I write Sadhu Sangha because that's usually what we say here in Iskcon. Well, Sat Sangha means the same thing, really. Sadhu Sangha, yeah. Okay, so let's read on. Vedic knowledge is called Shabda Pramana. Another name is Shruti. Did we explain Shruti? So Shruti means what is heard. Actually, Shruti is the 4 Vedas proper. Rig Veda, Sama Veda, Yajurveda, and Atharva Veda. These are called Shruti. Yeah. Shruti means that this knowledge... What?
Is not mother too?
Mother, yeah, of course. But that's more like, an analogy, yeah? But Shruti, it means it has been heard. It is going through a disciplic succession of hearing. And actually it has been analyzed that this transmission by oral reception. So what I'm saying is that it was not written down until Vyasadeva wrote it down in the end of Dwapara Yuga. It was just received by memorizing. But they found that actually this memorizing it preserves the scriptures better than if you write them down, and I will tell you why. Because how were the Vedas written down? They were written down by scribes. You can write that in the bottom here. So I write oral parampara. What is that right? Oral succession. Yeah. That is Shruti. Yeah.
Because we lose the memory. So it needs to read.
Yeah, that's why you need to write them down. Yeah. But they found that actually what's happening when you're writing down, in the old days that was a job. To be a scribe. Yeah. I'll write that here also. Scribe. Yeah. Scribes. Writing down. Yeah. I write that verses. Yeah, because that's the other way to do it. Yep. One thing is to have an oral succession, then you don't write down, or you have scribes writing down, the Vedas. But what happens? Just imagine if you were a scribe. Just go back 5,000, 6,000, 7,000 years, and say that you had a job as a scribe. You got an order for today. Okay, so today you're gonna, write down, 5 Upanishads. Okay, I want them delivered, by the end of the day. Please scribe down. Make 5 copies of this. Say you get the Īśopaniṣad. I want 5 copies. Yeah. So please now scribe down. Make 5 copies of this. So would you like to do it as quick as possible? Yes or no?
No, because I will make a lot of mistakes.
Yeah, exactly. But after some time, you get good at it. You think you're okay. So they're writing as quick as possible. Next one, but of course they may make some mistakes. And they found that very often it's okay. So Upanishad is quite easy. You can say just Īśopaniṣad, just 18 verses. But what if you have a book of 1,000 verses, right? Is it possible that there may be some quick writing down? You may miss something, and that's exactly what happened. So that's why usually when they have say somebody is going to translate the Mahabharata, especially that one, it has 100,000 verses. Is it possible a few errors has sneaked in here and there? Definitely. So they do something. They make like a critical edition. That's even for the Srimad Bhagavatam. There's also different versions of Bhagavatam. Bhagavatam has 18,000 verses. So in that way, it may be something is. So so when they're going to translate any book, they take all the different versions. They find one written down version, some old paper, even on the leaves, it's written down on banana leaves, right? From several hundred years ago, and they compare this with another version from North India. Or they may have 10 different versions, and then they see the difference, and then they make something called a critical edition. They type it into the computer and say, okay, we trust that this is the real version. And it's usually a mixture then between 10 different versions or something like that. Or they may trust one version more than the other, so they may actually go for just one version mostly. But anyway, in that way, it's not that nicely preserved. But by the oral succession, then it was actually much nicer, preserved. They found out. They went to one place in India and heard, their recitation there, and another place in India it was the same. Yeah. Okay, so that was just a footnote about that. Yeah. So Shruti means that this knowledge has to be received simply by oral reception. The Vedas instruct that in order to understand transcendental knowledge, we have to hear from the authority. Transcendental knowledge is knowledge beyond this universe. Within this universe is material knowledge, and beyond this universe is transcendental knowledge. We cannot even go to the end of the universe, so how can we go to the spiritual world? Thus, to acquire full knowledge is impossible. To acquire full knowledge. So, problem means by our own. So that's called empirical. Yeah. So, that's also called descending. Vs. ascending. Yeah. Ascending. Yeah, so descending knowledge, that's the knowledge which is handed down to us from the above. Yeah. Ascending means go upward. That means we are finding out, and we develop more and more and more and more by our own endeavor. So ascending knowledge, what would that mean then? It would be by our senses and by our logic. We are finding out, we're developing more and more. What would descending mean? Descending would mean shabda. Yeah, so I'll write that here. Shabda, yeah. Yeah, that is the actual descending knowledge. So we trust that more. Are we clear on that? That we trust Shabda Pramanam more than we trust Anuman, logic, and Pratyaksha, sense input.
Yes.
Yeah. So then we can go on. Let's go to the next page. So Prabhupada is now going to give us Shabda Pramana. Yeah, he's going to give us spiritual knowledge. So Prabhupada says, there is a spiritual sky. There is another nature that is beyond manifestation and non-manifestation. But how will you know that there is a sky where the planets and inhabitants are eternal? All this knowledge is there, but how will you make experiments? It is not possible. Can we experiment about what's beyond our senses? It's something we can try and understand by logic, no?
Just by logic, but
Yeah, but it's true. Our logic is also only reaching up to a certain level. I think we explained that another day also, that it's called philosophy. Yeah. By philosophy we can get quite far, but still, at the end of the day, one just has to accept, either it's like that or it's not like that. Who is going to tell us? We just need to have shraddha. We just need to have trust.
yes.
Yeah. It's going back to the same thing as a baby, as a child. We cannot know, who is our father. We just have to trust the mother. Mother is saying, this is your father, and we just have to trust. So in the same way, Veda Mata is saying, this is your father. Father is Isha, the Supreme Lord. Yeah. And also the, information where what is the abode of the father is explained. Yeah. All this knowledge is there, but how will you make experience? It is not possible. Therefore, you have to take the assistance of the Vedas. This is called Vedic knowledge. In our Krishna consciousness movement, we are accepting knowledge from the highest authority, Krishna. Krishna is accepted as the highest authority by all classes of men. I am speaking first of the two classes of transcendentalists. One class of transcendentalists is called impersonalists, Mayavadi. They are generally known as Vedantists, led by Shankaracharya. And there is another class of transcendentalists called Vaishnavas, like Ramanujacharya, Madhvacharya, Vishnu Swami. Both the Shankara Sampradaya and the Vaishnava Sampradaya have accepted Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Shankaracharya is supposed to be an impersonalist who preached impersonalism, impersonal Brahman, but it is a fact that he is a covered personalist. In his commentary on the Bhagavad Gita, he wrote, Narayan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is beyond this cosmic manifestation. Yeah. Narayana paro vyaktat. Yeah, he says Narayana paro vyaktat. So he's beyond. Para means beyond. He's transcendental to this, material manifestation. Prabhupada has quoted that also in his Bhagavad Gita commentary. And then again, he confirms that Supreme Personality of Godhead Narayan is Krishna. There he uses the word Devaki Putra, the son of Devaki, which is Krishna. He has come as the son of Devaki and Vasudha. What do you say?
I was thinking that you were trying to find where you want to read.
Oh yeah, thank you. Yeah, I did.
Sorry.
Yeah. On my computer is very small text actually. I'm sorry for that. I'm losing the track here. He has particularly mentioned the names of his father and mother. So Krishna is accepted as the Supreme Personality of Godhead by all transcendentalists. There is no doubt about it. Our source of knowledge in Krishna consciousness is directly from Krishna, Bhagavad Gita. We have published Bhagavad Gita as it is because we accept Krishna as he is, speaking without any interpretation. That is Vedic knowledge. Since the Vedic knowledge is pure, we accept it. Whatever Krishna says, we accept. This is Krishna consciousness. That saves much time. If you accept the right authority or the source of knowledge, then you save much time. For example, there are two systems of knowledge in the material world, inductive and deductive. Yeah. So that's another thing. Inductive, that was the same as, Prabhupada said, that is Anuman or logic. Deductive, however, is what people are telling you. Yeah. From deductive, you accept that man is mortal. Your father says man is mortal. Your sister says man is mortal. Everyone says man is mortal. But you do not experiment. You accept it as a fact that man is mortal. Yeah, so mortal means, deadly. Has to die, yeah. If you want to research to find out whether man is mortal, you have to study each and every man, and you may come to think that there may be some man who is not dying, but you have not seen him yet. So in this way, your research will never be finished. This process is called in Sanskrit aroha, or ascending process. You remember we talked about ascending and descending knowledge? So that's an example of ascending, to try and find out on your own by experiment. Yep. Isn't that often how we live, though? By making experiments? It is, because we are essential persons. We are walking around in the body. We're using a lot of logic and essential experience to determine what we are going to do. So actually a lot of what we do is aroha, ascending. But is it the highest level? No. It's not. So that's why you may be able to see, some very advanced transcendentalists. What are they doing? Are they walking around trying out this and that? Very advanced transcendentalists? No, they're not experimenting anymore. What are they doing? They're just sitting down. And they're just doing their bhajan, their own spiritual practice, just sitting. They're not going out with the senses anymore. They already have gotten the knowledge from their guru. So they're just now sitting in the spiritual practice, in the trance. So that would mean that these people are doing the descending process. In one sense, not just in one sense, we're actually doing that now. Are we going around the whole world now? Are we browsing the whole internet now? Well, at least now we're trying to just sit, right? And just absorb the knowledge which is already there, which we didn't construct ourselves. Is it true? Did we construct any of this? No. Now we're just receiving. We're just receiving, right? We're not doing research, right? Right now we're not researching. Are we agreeing? We're just receiving. We're like, now we're all like disciples. We're just, humble, and we just, yes, I believe, yes, right? We're just taking in now. Later on, don't worry, later on you're free again. You can go out and research, go out, trying, is it like this, is it like that? But right now we're just receiving. Why? Because we have shraddha, we have faith. Yep. And that's the highest. That's the highest process. And it saves time also. Otherwise, with the aroha, ascending process, one has to go around the whole world, trying out this, trying out that, and failing, trial and error. Yeah. Okay, so if you want to attain knowledge by any personal endeavor, by exercising your imperfect senses, you will never come to the right conclusion. You will never come to the right conclusions. It's many conclusions we have to make, not just one. Yeah, that is not possible, Prabhupada says. There is a statement in the Brahma Samhita, just ride on the airplane which runs at the speed of mind. Our material airplanes can run 2,000 miles per hour, but what is the speed of mind? You are sitting at home, you immediately think of India, say 10,000 miles away, and at once it is in your home. Your mind has gone there. The mind speed is so swift. Therefore it is stated, if you travel at this speed for millions of years, you will find that the spiritual sky is unlimited. It is not possible even to approach it. Therefore the Vedic injunction is that one must approach. The word compulsory is used, a bona fide spiritual master, a guru. Yeah. Tasmat guru prapadyeta. Yeah. Śrī Īśopaniṣad. To find the highest, benefit for us, we have to go to the guru. And what is the qualification of a spiritual master? He has rightly heard a Vedic message from the right source. Otherwise he is not bona fide. He must practically be firmly established in Brahman. These are the two qualities. This Krishna consciousness movement is completely authorized from Vedic principles. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says the actual aim of Vedic research is to find out Krishna. Yeah. Vedaischa sarvairaham eva vedyo, Vedanta krid vedaved eva chaham. In the Brahma Samhita also it is stated, Krishna Govinda has innumerable forms, but they are all one. Yeah. Ramadi Murchishu Kalanyamena Tishtam. Yeah. There's so many, murtis or forms of Krishna starting with Rama. But the source of them all is Krishna. Yeah. They are not like our forms. They're not like our forms, which are fallible. His form is infallible. My form has a beginning, but his form has no beginning. It is Ananta, and his form, so many multiforms, has no end. Ramadi Murtishu Kalani Amena Tishtam Nana Avataram Akarod Vibaneshu Kintu. Yeah. So it is, Ananta. And his form, so many multiforms, has no end. My form is sitting here and not in my apartment. So that was what Prabhupada said. I am sitting in my apartment. Yeah. You are sitting there and not in your apartment. So Prabhupada was giving this lecture, in a lecture hall, I suppose. Yeah. The point is that, when we are at one place, we are not in another place. When we are in the temple, are we in our apartment? Yes or no? You may be in your apartment in your mind. You may think, why I'm in the temple? I should be in my apartment. So in that way, we may think, I should rather. So in that way, our meditation may be like this. But this is actually a very, very nice point, because we are here in the material world. We cannot say that we're not in the material world. But if we think about the spiritual world and think, why am I here in the material world? I should be, in spiritual world with Krishna. I should right now be in the spiritual world making a garland for Krishna, right? Why am I, here, in the material world? So if that meditation becomes very strong, then actually we'll be more in the spiritual world than we are in the material world. Does it make sense? That's our whole idea about Krishna consciousness. To be in the spiritual world, although we are here in the material world. And it said that the result of such a meditation, I'm saying we may not get it as long as we are in the material world. We may not get the full fruit of our Krishna consciousness endeavor to meditate and do service like this. But it said that the result of serving the Guru, after this life, then we will actually come to the spiritual world and we will serve our Guru there in the spiritual form. Yeah, that's said to be the highest result of proper practice and meditation of Krishna consciousness. Yeah. Okay. So, but Krishna can be everywhere at one time. Yeah. So he is in the Goloka Vrindavan and he's also in material world. Yeah. Goloka evan nivashati aklatma bhuta. He's situated in the spiritual world, but then he's also spreading everywhere. Yeah. He can sit down in Goloka Vrindavan, and at the same time he is everywhere, all-pervading. He is original, the oldest, but whenever you look at a picture of Krishna, you will find a young boy, 15 to 20 years old. He said that he's 16 years old. Yep. He's keeping his form at 16 years, although he like in his Bauma Lila on the earth, he became like over 100 years old, but he still had the body of a 16-year. Yeah. You will never find an old man. You have seen pictures of Krishna as a charioteer from the Bhagavad Gita. At that time, he was not less than 100 years old. He had great-grandchildren, but he looked just like a boy. Krishna, God, never becomes old. That is his supreme power. And if you want to search out Krishna by studying the Vedic literature, then you will be baffled. Yeah, that's a nice word, baffle. It means, completely, bewildered, I think the Norwegian word å bli satt ut, that can be used here. One is just, baffled. Yeah. It's too much, You cannot comprehend all the Vedic literature just by itself. It may be possible, but it is very difficult. But you can very easily learn about him from his devotee. His devotees can deliver him to you. Yeah. So what does it mean to be a devotee? It means to be a bhakta. So Prabhupada here, he may be referring to that verse, which he often quoted, Videshu durlabam adurlabam atma bhaktao. Yeah. The Vedic literatures are durlabha, they're very difficult. to deal with and understand. But adurlabham atma bhakta. But for the devotees, it's not difficult, because it's a matter of just having faith and just receive the sound vibration with faith. Yeah, his devotee can deliver him to you. Here he is, take him. It's just accepting and taking. Just like getting the prasad. When you are in the temple, then people are serving, the nice, sabji, rice, dal, and sweets. Is it a difficulty in accepting these things? No. It's not difficult. So in the same way, we can just also receive the Vedic knowledge from the Guru. But have you sometimes experienced, if we don't like the person who serves us, well, of course, in the temple, say in another, let's just take it a far concept. Like say you want to go to a restaurant, and say the person or before you even go in, if you feel the vibes are bad in the restaurant, people are not treating you nicely when they come in, you're asking about something and they say, yeah, of course, they just say, of course, why do you ask? They're kind of indicating that you're stupid. If you kind of get this kind of vibe when you go into a restaurant, do you feel like eating there? No, you just want to go out and find another place where people are nice, right? So in the same way, there need to be the nice feeling. When somebody is going to give the Vedic knowledge or give any knowledge, one needs to feel like, I want to listen to this person. So that's why we need to find a guru or somebody who can teach us easy. But once we found somebody who we like to receive knowledge from, which we trust, there is no problem. Then we can just receive whatever that person says, we can trust it. Just like if somebody is cooking and you like the person who is cooking for you, then you will eat. You will eat gladly, not just 1 plate, 2 plates, 3 plates, because there is a nice, loving mood. So that's why our task is just simply in the spiritual life try and find that nice sangha, which we like. And then we will be ready not to just accept the prasadam from the devotees, but also whatever else they're giving us in the form of knowledge. And then it's actually easy. Does it make sense?
Yes, Prabhu.
Then is it really difficult to have the knowledge if we feel there is a loving mood? And no.
Looks like everything is very easy in Krishna consciousness.
It's very easy. It's very easy. But have we sometimes experienced, or we observe others, if they don't like, say they don't like the people in the temple or something like that, or they don't like, maybe somebody they don't like Iskcon, or then they themselves they start studying, right? They themselves read the books and become like very, and not having so much association. That can also happen. But then usually these people, these devotees or spiritually inspired people, they have to work much harder, right? They have to work harder. And they may if you see them, they may not be so happy actually. They may be very scholarly, they may know a lot, but they're full, because they may not have so much nice bhava, because they have some issues with others. It may not flow so nicely. A simple person may not have that much knowledge, but is very trustworthy. Trust the devotees like this, can receive the knowledge and just do service and be happy, Another person may not really trust and by himself try and find the knowledge and have to work so much harder. But it said that both of them, they will come to the same result if you just continue. If you're dealing with the Vedas, this is the good path, yeah? Okay, so let's go on. Originally there was only one Veda and there was no necessity of reading it. That we already covered. It was, oral succession. People were so intelligent and had such sharp memories that by once hearing from the lips of the spiritual master, they would understand. They would immediately grasp the whole purport. But 5,000 years ago, Vyasadeva put the Vedas in writing for the people in this age, Kali Yuga. He knew that eventually the people would be short-lived. Their memories would be very poor and their intelligence would not be very sharp. Therefore, let me teach this Vedic knowledge in writing. He divided the Vedas into 4, Rig, Sama, Atharva, and Yajur. Then he gave the charge of these Vedas to his different disciples. He then taught of the less intelligent class of men, Strī, Shudra, and Dvijya Bandhu. He considered the woman class and Shudra class, worker class, and Dvijya Bandhu. Dvijya Bandhu refers to those who are born in a high family, but who are not properly qualified. A man born in the family of a Brahmana who is not qualified as a Brahmana is called Dvija Bandhu. For these persons he compiled Mahabharata, called the history of India, and the 18 Puranas. These are all Vedic literatures, the Puranas, the Mahabharata, the 4 Vedas, and the Upanishads. The Upanishads are part of the Vedas. Then Vyasadeva summarized all Vedic knowledge for scholars and philosophers in what is called the Vedanta Sutra. This is the last word of the Vedas. Vyasadeva personally wrote Vedanta Sutra under instructions of Narad, his Guru Maharaj, spiritual master, but still he was not satisfied. That is a long story described in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Vedavyas was not very satisfied even after compiling many Puranas, Upanishads, and even after Vedanta Sutra. Then his spiritual master Narada instructed him, "You explain Vedanta." Vedanta means ultimate knowledge, and ultimate knowledge is Krishna. Krishna says that throughout all the Vedas one has to understand Krishna. Yeah. Vedascha sarvam aham eva vedyo. Vedanta krid vedavid eva chaham. Krishna says, I am the compiler of Vedanta and I am the knower of the Vedas. Therefore the ultimate objective is Krishna. That is explained in all the Vaishnava commentaries on Vedanta philosophy. Yeah. So we have like 4 different Vaishnava sampradayas. So that's not subject matter for now to go through, this slightly different, philosophy, but actually, they all accept Krishna and they all accept that we are servants of Krishna. Yeah. Let's see. We Gaudiya Vaishnavas have our own commentary on Vedanta philosophy called Govinda Bhasya by Baladev Vidyabhushana. Similarly, Ramanujacharya has a commentary and Madhvacharya has one. The version of Sankaracharya is not the only commentary. There are many Vedanta commentaries. But because the Vaishnavas did not present the first Vedanta commentary, people are under a wrong impression that Sankaracharya is the only Vedanta commentary. Besides that, Vyasadeva himself wrote the perfect Vedanta commentary, Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam also begins with the first words of the Vedanta Sutra, Janmadhyasya Yataha. Yeah. And that Janmadhyasya Yataha is fully explained in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Yeah, so Srimad Bhagavatam starts with that. Janmadhyasya Yataha Vayadi Taratas Chachesha Bhigya Svarat Tena Brahma Redaya Adi Kavaye Vedan. Yeah, like that. That he is the one everything emanates from. And also that Lord Brahma, he got this Vedic knowledge in the heart. And Vedanta Sutra also begins with Janmadhyasya Yataha. But then it stops, because it's a sutra, it's very short. So then you have to understand what does Janmadhyasya Yataha mean. There it means, Janma Adi. So starting with Janma, and he is the one who is the source of that. So there's a reference there to the creation, maintenance, and destruction of the universe. But it just says Janma Adi. So Janma is the creation. And Adi means, it just starts with that. But then you have to figure out what is the next thing. So that's why you need a commentary to try and pack out this and understand, what this means. So then the Bhagavatam is a natural commentary on the Vedas. It says, Brahma Sutra Bhasyam. Is the Bhasya or commentary to the Brahma Sutras or Vedanta Sutras? The Srimad Bhagavatam. So the first verse in Bhagavatam is huge in comparison to this small line of just Janmadhyasya Yataha. And Bhagavatam is continuing with 18,000 verses explaining everything. Yeah. The Vedanta Sutra simply hints at what is Brahman, the absolute truth. The absolute truth is that from whom everything emanates. This is a summary, but it is explained in detail in Srimad Bhagavatam. If everything is emanating from the absolute truth, then what is the nature of the absolute truth? That is explained in Srimad Bhagavatam. The absolute truth must be conscious, svarat. Yeah. He is self-effulgent. So that is said in the first verse of Srimad Bhagavatam. Yeah. Janmadhyasya Yataha Vayadi Taratas Chachesh Abhigya Svarat. He is self-effulgent. We develop our consciousness and knowledge by receiving knowledge from others. We develop our consciousness and knowledge by receiving knowledge from others, but for him it is said that he is self-effulgent, so he doesn't need anybody to be his guru. But Krishna himself, still he had a guru when he was having his earthly pastimes. What was the name of the guru of Krishna? Sandipani Muni. Sometimes devotees are opening school, and they, like in Vrindavan, they have Sandipani Muni school. Yeah. Krishna and Balaram, they went to the school, to the Gurukul of Sandipani Muni. So that was a devotee who then took the role as Krishna's teacher. Yeah. The whole summary of Vedic knowledge is the Vedanta Sutra, and the Vedanta Sutra is explained by the writer himself in the Srimad Bhagavatam. We finally request those who are actually after Vedic knowledge to try to understand the explanation of all Vedic knowledge from the Srimad Bhagavatam and the Bhagavad Gita. That's the two books I mentioned before. These are the most safe books to start with, to understand Vedic knowledge, and actually to end with also, because we don't need anything more than these two books to explain everything. Like you can say, okay, you have a lot of commentaries on these books, so the commentaries we also need, yeah, and even there are written commentaries on the commentaries, so all that is very good. But the center is the Bhagavatam and the Bhagavad Gita. It's all centering around these two books. We have many extra books also written by Goswamis like that, but they're also referring to Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita. Does it make sense? These two books are the core teachings, which is sufficient.
Yes.
Yeah, you believe in this?
Yes.
Very good.
Thank you so much, Prabhu.
Thank you so much. So any comments or questions?
It was long, the story.
It was very long, yeah. I agree.
Yeah.
But now you went through this was the hardest part of the Īśopaniṣad. You just went through. The rest will be much more easy. Yeah. If I find, I can send you on our WhatsApp group. I can send you this. Actually, you have it in the book. On page 103, you have this tree of the Vedic knowledge. Like the graph. I'll show it here on the YouTube, and this is in your study book. So I guess all of you who are here, you got this study book either as a PDF or in the printed version. Yeah. So there you can see it starts, with Shruti and Smriti, as we explained. And the Shruti, it will then be, the four Vedas. And they're divided into four different parts also. Or, they have these 4 parts extra to them. Or you can pick them out from each Veda, these 4 parts. And then you have also there is this graph explains something called Upavedas. Yeah. That's Dhanurveda, Ayurveda, etc. So I don't know if you cannot say that all which is in Upavedas is in the core Vedas, but Ayurveda, at least I know that is in that's coming from the Atharva Veda, the first Ayurvedic instructions. But of course, you have Ayurveda, is in Upanishad. It's not in Upanishad. Sorry, it's in Puranas and Itihasas. There you find a lot of Upavedic instruction. Dhanurveda, the art of warfare, like that. So I don't know why it was put here under Shruti, really. But anyway, so Vedangas, that's the 5 parts of the Vedas also. Kalpa, the ritual details, how to make the altar and all this. Shiksha, the pronunciation of the Vedic mantras. Vyakarna, the grammar. Nirukta, etymology, that means what does the words mean. You have yoga, for example, it means so many different things. That's Nirukta. And then Chandas, that's the meter. We also talked about that in our introduction to Bhakti Shastri. Second day we talked about Sanskrit. So we say it in different meters. For example, Bhagavad Gita is in Anushtup usually. And then you have the longer verses are in a longer meter, a different melody like this. And then Jyotish, it means the astronomy and astrology. Yeah. And then Smriti, so that's all our Bhagavata, all our Puranas, Itihasas, Ramayana, Mahabharata, like that. But it's more actually. It's also Pancharatras. Pancharatras is all our knowledge which we do deity worship with. And you have You have Tantras is also written here. Yeah. More like Shaivite scriptures. You have ritual sutras, so that's like the Dharma Shastras. More used back in the day, like in the Vedic lifestyle. Dharma Sutras, Griya Sutras. It's like how to do all these rituals as a Grihasta. Like a very ritualistic life with all these books. And the main Dharma Shastra, you can say, is the Manu Samhita. So that's a law book proper. Yeah. Okay, so and then 6 darshanas are also mentioned here in the Smriti. So that's Vedanta, given by Vyasadeva. So then you can talk about, the Vedanta Sutra in there. So that will then be part of the Smriti. And then another, darshana, or philosophical discourse, is Mimamsa by Jaimini. So usually the 5 others are said to be atheistic, and only really theistic is the Vedanta Sutra. And Nyaya, logic by Gautama, and then Vaisheshika is the atomic theory. That's given by Rishi Kanada, like that. And then you have yoga by Patanjali, probably one of the more famous of the 6 darshanas. The Yoga Sutra. And then you have Sankhya. Usually that is referred to then the Sankhya Yoga of the atheistic Kapila. But we have Sankhya Yoga, actually the original one is from the theistic Kapila, which is Devahuti Putra Kapila, which we are getting in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Yeah, so that's it. So any more comments or questions? Anybody in the chat? No messages in the chat. So we have a lot to digest from all this, I guess. So we can digest all of that. Hopefully we have been able to digest all this by a good night's sleep. And tomorrow we will be fresh, because tomorrow is Saturday. And cancel everything else in your calendar and set your time free for 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock. We have another session of Īśopaniṣad. Then we'll talk about the first verse in the Īśopaniṣad. Right? Jai. Thank you so much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Thank you so much.